Local news now on 102.1 WALT Meridian.
I'm Cash Matlock with Queen City News Feed. Here's what's happening. The 3 inmates that were being housed in the Kemper-Neshoba Correctional Facility from the Meridian Police Department have been transported to Clark County, according to WTOK. This comes after yesterday's statement to Queen City News Feed addressing the almost $40,000 that the city of Meridian apparently owes the Kemper-Neshoba Correctional Facility for housing those inmates. For the full statement released by MPD Chief Deborah Naylor-Young, visit quencitynewsfeed.com. Alamucha Wynot Road will be closed today from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. for railroad crossing repairs, according to the Lauderdale County Road and Bridge Department. The closure, mandated by the KCS Railroad, is intended to ensure the safety of both motorists and railroad employees during the repair work. Motorists are advised to seek alternative routes and exercise caution in the area. Dozens of residents in Collinsville and a few others throughout Lauderdale County were without power for a few hours yesterday. East Mississippi Electric Power Association took to their Facebook page to confirm that the outage was due to a fallen oak tree that damaged 2 transmission poles. Multiple crews were dispatched to repair the damage and replace the broken poles. Queen City News Feed got the chance to do a ride-along with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's deputies. The full video is now posted. During the ride-along, deputies Hartley Cox and Zach Morgan made several traffic stops and 1 drug bust. I'm Cash Matlock with Queen City News Feed. To watch that video and for more news updates throughout the day, follow us on Facebook or visit quencitynewsfeed.com.
Eggs Up Grill, 2815 North Hill Street, would like to apologize to all our wonderful customers. We had air conditioning problems, but the good news is it's all fixed. You know, Eggs Up Grill is my favorite place for breakfast or brunch, and they have some burgers and other lunch items as well. And again, Eggs Up Grill says thank you to our customers for being patient. Our air conditioning problems are fixed. Come back and visit us. Eggs Up Grill, 2815 North Hill Street, home of the early bird special, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Hey, Meridian, it's Clay Travis.
And I'm Buck Sexton.
Join us later this morning at 11 after Glenn Beck.
Now back to Mornings in Meridian on 102.1 WALT.
And good morning, everybody. Good Thursday morning, the 22nd day of August. So glad you are tuned in to Mornings in Meridian. Yes, it is the 2 best hours. Local live talk radio. East Mississippi, West Alabama. Roger here, back to work for a couple days anyway this week. Say hi to the main compadre. Here he is. Say hi to Mr. Rob Atkinson.
Who the heck are you?
You know, I just wanted to take a couple of days, and I did.
Oftentimes, you come back.
Okay, let's go there.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, oftentimes you owe it to yourself. Well, the Mrs. and I celebrated 40 years.
We gave y'all some shout-outs on Monday.
Hey, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
That's what we're here for.
So we spent a little time down on the Gulf Coast and enjoying just the southernmost part of Mississippi.
Nice.
The little landmass between Louisiana and Alabama.
Oh, yeah. We don't have a name. It's just landmass.
Rob, I'll tell you this. Every time I go down there, I learn something new about what happened during Katrina.
Yeah?
And it is just amazing how if you were to travel around the country, ask people about Katrina, they're going to talk about how New Orleans got flooded, and New Orleans.
Oh, sure.
New Orleans got the headlines on that because they didn't take care of their pumps.
Yeah, that would be kind of a key thing there.
The federal money that they supposed to spend on pumps were not spent on pumps.
Good job there, guys.
And of course, there was a discussion. We toured first time ever. I've been down there. We toured Beauvoir.
Beauvoir.
French for beautiful view. That's of course the home of.
If I was going to be French for like my derriere or something.
Well, it's French for President of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis. Stayed there and lived there. That was a home for many years, but nearly destroyed by Katrina. But we seem to forget sometimes that. Remember back when Katrina was the problem was they were going to move the Mayor Nagin's freezer.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Remember what was in the freezer? You remember what was in it? Stacks of cash.
Cash, yeah.
Lots of cash.
Wonder where that came from.
And it was funny because one of the tour guides for the Beauvoir was talking about how the Katrina ravaged the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but New Orleans got the got the coverage on it.
Oh, sure.
But he did mention that while he was telling the story about Mayor Nagin and all the rest, and telling the story about the freezer, and one of the guys says, "I'm not supposed to talk about this because I was in the Guard, but since you brought it up, I'm the one that helped pry open that freezer."
Really, I'm the guy. It's amazing.
So,
next week is the anniversary of Katrina, too.
That is.
Yeah,
so I mentioned that maybe this is a good time to bring it up is because, Mississippi is still coming back from that.
Sure.
I mean, as far as
the story that's not talked about.
The vacant land that is now, there's a lot of building going on down there. So some of these vacant properties are being, turned into residence, and people are starting to put, of course, the houses that are being built are way up on stilts now. But there's a building going on. But just kind of had a nice, relaxing time down on the coast.
Very good. While you were gone, we were stirring the pot. So
heard that.
Sorry.
Someone who could not reach the station yesterday morning called me thinking that I was on the air because they thought they heard me on the air.
My boat.
What? I was what?
Man, when you leave me on that side of the board, you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, it was fun. And they said, well, the reason and of course, they started on talking and explaining why. I guess evidently you were talking about the delinquent bills of paying Kemper County for the service of incarcerating our prisoners.
Which there's another layer to that story today.
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
Oh, there's more. But anyway, so I quickly got caught up, and so I said, here's Rob's number. Call him.
Call him.
But anyway, no, that was good. They were trying to, and I guess there's some explanations. Evidently, it takes a little time for the purchase orders to get put through the channels and turned around and checks cut and everything else. So
yeah.
That was the explanation I was given. I don't know about you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
okay.
And now the other layer to this story is basically those 3 inmates that were at the Kemper County, the Kemper Neshoba Correctional Facility, have now been transported to Clark County.
Mm-hmm.
So they are no longer there at that particular facility. They are now down in Clark County. So
Our credit's good down in Clark County.
So you can read between the lines on that one if you catch my drift.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking between the lines. It says basically our relationship with Kemper County is estranged, and so we're going to take our prisoners to where we're more appreciated.
I guess so.
We're going to do business where we're appreciated.
Yeah. So
Okay, good deal.
yeah, but that was and the inmates being Christopher Lee Harris, Angel Parker, and Davion Williams. Yes, they had been transferred to the Clark County facility, and they were released and placed into the custody of the Meridian Police Department, and obviously transferred to the Clark County Jail. So yeah, that was reporting there from TOK, and of course, Cash mentioned that at the top of the hour on the Queen City news feed page as well. Of course, I know you probably read the statement from the police chief already. She kind of explained in detail about the bills, and we read that yesterday, and of course that's also online, and they're that new layer of the story out today. So
Well, Rob, part of taking time for your anniversary and vacationing is completely. I didn't listen to the Democrat National Committee speeches. I did not listen to any local news. I did tune into WLOX just to find out why the sirens were going by the house so much last night or the night before last.
boom, boom. No.
But nothing turned up on that. So just average stuff down there at the coast. But so therefore, no, I didn't pay much attention to what was going on around the state or around the country.
Well, I mean, the one thing we talked about this story at length yesterday, and of course we had a lot of phone calls on it yesterday as well. But the one thing I keep going back to, we had the fuel card issue last week with the city. You have this week.
Get my gas.
Is there more coming? So it just from the optics and PR standpoint, it is. I mean, it's a pain in the neck, if you know what I mean, from that side of things.
Yeah, that's
and the optics in the community, obviously.
Trying to get paid from the city sounds like a. Or does, I guess puts the city's finances in a bad light. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, but this is all going, like I said, it's going to the claims docket on the next city council meeting, which is on the 3rd of September. That will be the morning meeting at 9 a.m. So
did I tell you that's the next week I'm going to be off?
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell you that, did I?
Oh, okay. Mark it down.
Labor Day. I got some dates I want to share with you. Anyway, it's city council meeting on the 3rd. That's right after Labor Day, right?
Yep. So that'll
Cool.
be on that Tuesday, and that's when I guess you would say these bills, I guess you would say, will be addressed because the city council has to approve. Obviously, that since it's on the claims docket, but that's when it'll be up for discussion and I guess approval on the 3rd of September. And hopefully this will be resolved and behind the city and they can move forward.
They gonna fix it.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
You got election coming up next year. They gonna fix it.
Of course, a lot of folks yesterday were like, what if I didn't pay one bill? What happened to me?
Well, I can tell you what happens to your water if you don't pay your water
Right.
bill. I can tell you what happens to your power if you don't pay your power bill.
And Mr. Frazier yesterday told me about his water bill off air, and I was like, oh, gosh.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, gosh. It hurt me. Yikes.
You ever gone upstairs and see what the power bills are for our radio station towers?
I have.
Doesn't that just get you?
Yeah. It hurts.
Costs a lot to broadcast on the frequency modulated towers of 102.1 FM, but we're glad to do it because we don't want you to have to pay for this broadcast.
Yeah, that's why we always say we have to take this break to pay the bills.
That's what we do.
We got to pay that bill.
Speaking of which, remember John Dufour down at Battery One Source talking about power. If you want to start something, go down there to Battery One Source.
Absolutely. Located at 2618 North Frontage Road here in Meridian. Of course, they have also got golf cart service and repair. Don't forget about that down at Battery One Source. Of course, batteries, they've got them all for watches, remotes for your vehicles, laptop, computers, cell phones. And, of course, they have battery tenders, maintainers, cables. They'll test your batteries free of charge, and in most automobiles, installation is free. And, of course, we mentioned cell phone batteries. What if you got a broken cell phone facing right there? You know, we drop these phones from time to time. If you don't have a good case on it, you're going to get that crack right down the middle of your cell phone front. And SED can get you squared away with that repair. And they've also got other accessories there at the shop as well. So go by and see them. They're going to be there a little bit later on this morning, starting at around 8:30, and they'll be there till 4:30 this afternoon. So that's 2618 North Frontage Road here in Meridian. That is Battery One Source, 693-1500. That's 601-693-1500. And in the words of the great Hazmat, don't be a dumb bunny. Go to Battery One Source.
Don't be a dumb bunny. I love it. Got a little report, somebody talking about the Democrat National Convention. If you want to hear some audio.
Them, it's midnight in America. It's the same sad song they sang 4 years ago. They say they want to turn America around. When their party left the White House 8 years ago, inflation was at one of the highest levels in American history. Now it's under control. Do they want to turn that around?
Okay. There's. I'm sorry. That was President Reagan reacting to the 1988 convention there. So, okay. See, inflation was high when Reagan took office. Yeah, that was a big situation. Interest rates were high when he took office. Economic stagnation, high energy prices when he took office. Interesting. A little parallel there.
You mean
you've
not watched a lick of it?
Not a lick of the
DNC?
I just saw some reports this morning when I was playing some catch up.
Playing some catch up?
Didn't take so long to catch up. You had Biden come out and talk about what a great presidency he had. Mm-hmm. You got Bill Clinton came out and talked about what a great presidency Biden had. Mm-hmm. And the nice transition of power, like with George Washington, you know. After serving 2 years, George Washington knew to step aside. Clinton would say, oh, wait a minute. Biden only served 1 year, and he was asked to step aside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then Nancy Pelosi came up, talked what a nice job Joe Biden did, the greatest presidency in the modern times.
Oh yeah.
The Biden-Harris administration. So I'm playing. You see, I played catch up. You know, instead of watching night after night after night of the Democrat National Committee convention, I watched 5 minutes of the Fox report and got caught up pretty well with what happened. Oh, and by the way, Barack Obama came out and talked about what a friend and what a nice guy Joe Biden was, and that how Kamala is going to be the best answer for our country. So, does that pretty well sum up the Democrat National Committee?
It's amazing when you hear all these speeches, though, and all the highlights and everything else. You know, when you hear Obama say something like that about Biden, it's like, if y'all are such good friends, then who ran the coup to push him aside, kicking and screaming?
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to push the old man out. We're going to go to the convention and tell what a great job he did, give him a nice little pat on the behind, send him on his way, let him and Jill live out their golden years together. That was the plan, and it's working.
But you noticed the other night they pushed Biden's speech so late into the night on Monday. It was like
it was even too late for him.
It was like 11:30 Eastern when he took the stage there in Chicago the other night. So they were like, all right, let's make this speech as late as we possibly can.
Well, isn't Kamala going to be like 11 tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be late.
I mean, yeah, let's
I remember when Trump
we don't have much of a platform. Why don't we just go ahead and have our speeches really, really late?
Yeah, Trump, whenever he spoke at the RNC, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he go on stage like at 9:30, 9:45 our time, and he spoke like maybe a little over an hour?
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere like close to 10.
Yeah,
like that.
So, but yeah, it was, I mean, these speeches are really, really late.
They are. And why is that, by the way? Oh, I know why, because conventioneers are getting up very, very late. I remember now.
There you
go. I got you there.
And I saw where your buddy Benny Thompson was on the schedule.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
Your buddy Benny.
We're going to have to take a break here, folks. Pay a couple of bills, and I owe one myself.
There you go. Yeah, he was on the schedule to speak. So.
My buddy Benny. Oh, I'd have a Dr. Pepper with him.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
Is he buying?
If he wants to, fine. He's used to buying everything else for. Well, no, it's not using his money. I forgot.
Yeah, right. I was
never
about to
mind.
say, let's correct ourselves on this
Yeah,
one.
you're right. You're right. I'd have a Dr. Pepper with him, of course. It'd probably be on a dark road and a late night. And no, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm sorry. No, just kidding. Yeah, Benny. I don't know. Benny is just a good example of how not all of Mississippians think alike. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, on the flip side of things, on the Trump campaign, did you see yesterday where he was in North Carolina? He was speaking in the first outdoor rally he had, and he stopped the rally because there was a woman who was having a kind of a medical emergency in the crowd.
Comes out from behind the glass.
Yeah.
Goes out to the crowd to help the lady. That was nice.
Yeah. So he stopped the speech and, went right out there and hugged her neck and went back up there and started speaking. So.
Yeah. Well, that's
they had the big glass, the bulletproof glass that he was standing behind during the speech or whatnot, and I imagine the Secret Service got a little squirrely right there whenever he walked down from the stage.
All right, pop quiz.
Yeah.
Was he doing that out of genuine interest for his supporter, or was it a good photo op and he said this would be a good thing for me to do?
Take it for what it's worth.
What's your opinion?
I think it might be a little bit of both, maybe.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
It's a campaign.
It's a campaign. And, it's kind of like, if let's just say, for example, we're here in the studio and, let's say that Penny all of a sudden starts kind of feeling faint and, we're not going to just keep broadcasting. And
we'll take a selfie first and then we'll help her.
Right before she passes out.
That's what most people do anyway, right?
Look, she's going down.
Look, I'm helping somebody. All right, and then we'll help them.
Look at how good I am.
Exactly. Look what I did.
Oh, don't get me started down that line of thinking there.
I'm just telling you, people are like that now.
Facebook. People like to get on.
Look, I just made this
Facebook.
Look, I just made this donation to somebody. I helped him. Hang on.
Instagram. Okay.
All owned by the same people now.
So what are all these different platforms where you can do that? Do the little selfie and shoot it out there? You got Instagram, Facebook. What else is out there?
You got the TikTok thing. You got
the TikTok.
X. And,
yes. Well, how TikTok? You'll put all information on TikTok so we have access to you. Gotcha.
That Chinese app.
The app from China.
Yep.
All right, there you have it. Well, we're just having some fun here, folks. You're welcome to join us. 601-485-9191 is our talk line. 601-485-9191. That's our talk line. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, we did talk about Penny because she is in the room. And then when we come back after the break, we're going to be talking with Commander Daniel Walker. He's the new CEO of the Naval Technical Training Center. So we're looking forward to talking with him about that. So stay tuned for that when we come back. But we still have a few moments to take calls if you want to call in.
Very good. Well, let's thank one of our sponsors real quick while we have an opportunity, and that is our good friend Jeffrey Wilson, State Farm Insurance. Of course, like a good neighbor, he is located at 2401 Highway 39 North here in Meridian. And when you combine your home and auto insurance with State Farm, you're going to save on average of $889. And, of course, Jeffrey is so embedded in our community. He is involved in a lot of different local organizations. And when you do your insurance, you really want to work with someone that is truly hometown, and Jeffrey is right at the top of that list. We're talking the Downtown Optimist Club, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. The list goes on and on. So drop by and see Jeffrey today, and he'll discuss some insurance policies with you. And once again, when you combine that home and auto, folks, you're going to save, this is just average, $889 with Jeffrey Wilson State Farm. So drop by and see him, 2401 Highway North in Meridian, or call ahead at 601-483-8253. That is 601-483-8253. Like Wilson State Farm.
He's there.
That's right.
All right, it's Mornings in Meridian. We're glad you're out there. And, of course, it was today in 1902. Yes, August 22nd. I don't know why this is recorded. I guess it was a pretty big deal back then. We don't think about it now. But it was in 1902 that Theodore Roosevelt, he was president, you know.
Teddy.
He was the first one to ride in an automobile.
Oh.
First president to ride in an automobile.
Slow news day that day.
Well, I guess he thought that was a good photo op as well. So.
Right.
Wait a minute, they did have photographs then, right? They did have photographs. Yeah, they did. Okay, so he could have been a good photo op. His only recommendation was, hey, can we put some bulletproof glass around this carriage a little bit? You know, try to make it a little bit safer. I don't know, but yeah, that was 1902. So I guess, you know, you got to remember, it wasn't all just easy for presidents to motorcade around back in the day.
Mm-hmm. And now look how times have changed.
Exactly. Oh, yes. I learned, I was listening to the presentation at Beauvoir, you know, talking about Jeff Davis. You know, he decided to go to his plantation up in Natchez and started coming down with a little bronchitis, started making his way back to the coast and took the steamship down the river. Unfortunately, died in New Orleans. So he had a funeral procession there and you know, kind of a strange departure. Of course, you know, he was a man who died without a country.
There you go.
Wasn't until in the 90s, recently in the 90s, they reinstated him as a
I believe so.
U.S. citizen.
Believe so.
Interesting stuff. If you want to learn some more history, go down to the coast. It's some good stuff down there. We'll take a break. When we come back, NES Meridian will be on board.
Fox News. I'm Chris.
Jukebox Hero. And for those of you that are below the age of 30, a jukebox is a place where we used to put, used to be a little machine in the corner of the bar or the restaurant. You put a coin in, you could play songs that were popular of the day.
I wish we could have a jukebox here in the studio. I think that'd be a good little nostalgic thing to have.
It really would be.
I think it'd be a good look in here.
It really would be. Do you remember the ones that had the jukebox little thing right there at the table? You know, you could flip,
yeah, I've seen one of those. Yeah,
flip through the songs and
Yeah.
you just listen to it right there at your table. You know, it's like, I don't know how that regulated as far as, you know, table next to you. But hey, can you turn yours down? I'm trying to listen to mine.
It was one of those in, what was it, Rain Man, where Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman are sitting there and he's like quizzing him on the songs and he just keeps turning the, I remember that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's a great scene right there.
Yeah.
400 Oak Street.
Yeah, Wapner. 20 seconds to Wapner.
You threw your shorts on the highway.
Everybody remembers Rain Man line.
Yeah.
601 no talking. We got a guest coming up here. So we'll give our number out in just a little bit. But first, let's thank our sponsor. Of course, we're so thankful that you don't have to know how to be a plumber because Gary Barber's in town.
That's right, Barber and Sons Plumbing, 1123 24th Avenue here in Meridian, 601-482-7023. That's 601-482-7023. Call Gary and the staff today if you get stuck on a project or if you need to check on a plumbing part. Gary and them can get you squared away. Of course, they are third generation down there at Barber and Sons. Every type of plumbing part, they got it available. If not, they can get it to you pretty quick. Like they even do the small commercial jobs, residential jobs, and they have been saving those do-it-yourselfers for many, many years. So if you get stuck on a project, this is true. Take a picture of what you're doing. Take it to Gary. Hey, what do I need right here? And Gary will have the very, very quick solution for you. Of course, Gary Barber, Gayla Gartman, and the entire staff down there are fantastic. I can work with good local folks when it comes to plumbing. That's Barber and Sons Plumbing. Once again, their location is 1123 26th Avenue here in Meridian. And that number, one more time, is 601-482-7023, and they are the plumbing experts. Barber and Sons Plumbing.
All right, welcome to Mornings in Meridian, and we're underway now with Naval Air Station Meridian, and we have as our guest Commander Daniel Walker. He is the, he's the commanding officer of the NTTC, and we'll get to that acronym in just a moment. But welcome to the microphone, Commander Walker.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, sir. And, of course, you, sir, serve as the commander, and we're going to just get right into that acronym, NTTC. What is the acronym, and what happens at NTTC?
NTTC is the Navy Technical Training Center. We hold the A schools for 5 enlisted ratings, all the admin logistics ratings here, as well as the C school for the flag riders. We have almost about 3,000 students come through here annually. And then I also own detachments up in Fort Meade, Maryland for the mass communication specialists, and a detachment at Fort Gregg Adams for our culinary institutes, for our cooks, and the advanced schools for hazmat, air transportation, enlisted aid, and advanced culinary.
Wow. Okay. There's the instruction that's given to sailors who come aboard our Naval Air Station to learn how to go out and do their job out in the fleet. And, of course, as you mentioned them all there, there's administrative, there's culinary, there's communications. Logistics. Getting things from this location to that location so it can be useful in the service of the country. That's kind of important.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's one thing. Every once in a while you watch a military movie and they talk about, getting supplies to their troops and things like that. Well, that's a very real thing. You gotta keep the ship supplied, got to keep everything on target. So they learned that here in Meridian on board Naval Air Station Meridian.
Yes, sir. Boards are won and lost via logistics.
Wow. Well, what did you say? Won and lost with logistics, yeah. And you probably tell the classmates that, or your instructors tell the class that, yeah. So you said 3,000. I like that because we do think in terms of the 100 or so pilots that come through the naval aviators that are winged and become, they're kind of like, we're a naval air station. That's what it's about, air station. We're training naval aviators. We see the orange and white airplanes, but on campus of Naval Air Station Meridian, there's a lot more education going on, and that's the 3,000 students that come aboard each year.
Yes, sir.
So very cool. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Of course, a little bit about your history, your family, where you're from, and all this good stuff.
Initially from Central Florida, grew up in Cocoa area, and then I finished high school outside Lake Mary's between Orlando, Daytona Beach. I enlisted in August 2001, so I was in boot camp during 9/11.
Oh, wow.
9/12, because that's when they told us about it.
Yeah.
Following that, went to Pensacola for cryptologic maintenance technician. A school, volunteered for submarines, went out to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, worked on submarines for about a year, and then I got picked up to go to U.S. Naval Academy, received a nomination from Secretary of Navy. Wow. So I did a prep school for a year, 4 years Naval Academy, and then I got commissioned as a surface warfare officer.
Oh, fantastic. Well, congratulations on your great service, 2001. Wow, you've been in there, what are we calculating, about 14 years now?
23.
Going on, 23, going on 24. That's what I meant to say.
He's somewhat past math.
It was called general math for a reason.
General.
Yeah.
Just general math.
Getting through. Just getting through. Yeah. No, so, long career. The retirement's got to be coming into sight somewhere along here, I would think.
Potentially.
Eventually. You're not done yet, though, are you? So you just arrived. How long will you be the instructor here? Or I should say the commanding officer here.
24 months.
24 months.
18 to 24 months.
So you got 2 years to sort it out, what you'll do next after this. So we'll welcome you. Of course, you said from Central Florida. Can we say Gators, or are we a Gator fan? Is that the...
Used to be.
Used to be.
Oh, this is a story. What's going on here?
Well, since college football is just about to start, let's find out where we made the switch and why.
I've lived out of Florida longer than I've been in Florida by this point now.
Okay.
And so now if I watch college, I'll watch my alma mater, which would be Navy.
There we go.
Makes sense.
Go Navy.
Go Navy.
Beat Army.
There we go. Good on you. So yeah, so that was so off to Annapolis you went for 4 years.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. What was the most trouble you got in Annapolis?
Senior year, I got to spend Thanksgiving, Christmas on restriction for breaking the battalion officer's rule. He's now a 3-star admiral, so I have to still be careful now.
Oh,
I love it.
Okay. Sometimes you gotta,
That's a story for off air.
I know it. Yeah, we'll save that for later.
I went there as an E5, so I was already old enough to drink before I got there, so I had a much different experience than the majority of my classmates.
Yeah. I see.
There it is.
Okay, I'm with you. Well, we're glad that you made it through all of that, and then, of course, now you're commander here on board NAS Meridian, and off we go. So you talked about some of your duty stations. What was your favorite before arriving here?
So the 5 years I did on ships, I got to see awesome places around the world, like going to Haifa, Israel.
Haifa, yeah.
Civitavecchia, just stop in Rome.
Wow.
Go to the Vatican. Seychelles, Tropical Island off the coast of Somalia.
Yeah.
So some of those places were kind of nice. I also like seeing Japan. I got to go to Romania and Poland to visit our Aegis Ashore missile defense sites we have there. After leaving SWO community, going over to HR.
Can we say that? Can we say we have missile sites in Romania and? Oh, okay.
We just did.
Okay. Penny, is that okay? No, we have fun with Penny.
It's public.
Yeah,
It's public. I like that. It's knowledge.
No, but
Shore-wise, got to live in Oklahoma City. I ran the MEP station down there, and then I was also at U.S. Transcom up in St. Louis. So just from locality, amenities, quality of life for the family. Those are really good.
Cool.
Job locations.
So now let's talk about the family. Wife, children?
Wife and 3 kids.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow. 9, 11, and 12.
Fantastic. And can we give them a shout out? I'm sure they're listening to this conservative talk station.
Caitlin, Savannah, and Mason, they should all be in school right now.
They better be, right?
All right. Maybe before going into school, you're listening to the radio before you go in. Hello, guys. I appreciate it. And your wife's name is?
Kristen.
Kristen. All right, Kristen. Thanks for being here. What does she think about Meridian?
She lives in Arlington, Tennessee.
Oh, she don't know much about Meridian then. Okay, so you travel back and forth into Arlington.
I was in Millington for 10 months, and so we decided not to move him again after just 10 months in Memphis area.
So you're close by. I got you. Okay, that takes care of that. But they could all be streaming the show. Maybe
absolutely.
I know what's happening. Your kids are actually streaming the show in their class right now. And they're about to get in trouble.
Right, yeah.
That's what's happening. So that's what's going on. So so then, what is your impression of the Meridian area since you've arrived here 3 months ago?
I like it. All the people I met, interacted with, all seem very nice, very friendly. Tuesday night, I started a bowling league here in Meridian.
Bowling league.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, it's called Monday Nighters. I tried to ask them if they realized it's not on Monday, but they told me not to ask questions, so I left it at that.
Okay, don't ask. Look, you're the new guy. Just don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions.
I like that. Now, wait a minute. Where do we bowl? Our bowling alley
Right
was
down the
tore
road here, I would assume.
Oh, here, right here.
Yeah.
Next to Plant Fitness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right down the road
you
here.
got a bowling alley on base too, right? Okay. So that's. I guess you go there and kind of stay in shape. At the bowling alley.
Try to.
On the
Try to
base.
pick up a hobby. Try to stay away from the students sometimes.
Doesn't every teacher? Doesn't every administrator? That's exactly right. You know, it's like never let them see you smile. Never let them see you happy. You know, don't say nothing nice to the students. Right? You gotta put up that tough front there. So that's cool. You have a lot to do there when you talk to the students. Or I guess you're the commanding officer, so that means you're the instructors are the ones that teach the students and all. But what function do you play day to day? You're just there to kind of make sure everything goes well, or people report to you. How does that all work as commander of NTTC?
So a lot of it's more administrative meetings and working on like instructions, policies to kind of get standardization on how they go about do business. And then when I don't have anything on schedule, I kind of get to rumor about. Jokingly, we kind of say it's unsupervised, no adult supervision, and so I just start wandering around. I can go in the classrooms, no one yells at me.
Remember, that's what got you in trouble in Annapolis. Remember that?
Wandering around.
Okay.
So I go and I'll interact with students and kind of talking about what's going on, what's on their mind. On the back of their computers, they write what their future duty station is. And so sometimes they're asked questions like, hey, I'm going to this. What is this? So sometimes I go and kind of
Interesting. Okay.
They actually put on the back of their computers. So
they
you
put
can-
their name and their future duty station. So
Okay.
whether it's a ship, a transaction support center, kind of what command they're going to.
So they want to know. It's got to be kind of exciting, though, because these kids have just come down from Great Lakes, I guess, and they're kind of still fresh and kind of wondering what the Navy's going to be all about. So you're able to give them a little bit of foresight, a little bit of advice, counsel, and all the rest.
Yes, sir.
Pretty cool. So do you ever have to call any instructors in on a carpet dance, anything like that?
Sometimes not so much the instructors. Sometimes you got to do for the students. They're only here for about 3 to 5 weeks, and sometimes they lose sight of what they're here for. So I have to give them some reminders. You're a sailor now. This is how we act.
Just because you're in Meridian, Mississippi, doesn't mean.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you got to take this seriously. Yeah, I got you. Okay, very good. Here's a question I have, because I'm really curious about this. Are sailors able to get in and enjoy Meridian at all? I mean, get around and see the town, take part in things around town?
Right now, they mostly only do it on the weekends. We're about
Okay.
to sign out a new policy, probably a little bit closer to the end of the month. We're start giving them freedoms during the week to come down.
Cool.
But there's a balance between letting them have freedoms to go out and then also remembering they still need to study and do well on their test and exams, because they're only here for less than a month or 2 months.
Let me guess. The freedoms would be tied in directly to their performance, perhaps?
Those that have a higher level of performance will get more freedoms.
There you go.
There it is.
That's the way it works.
There you go.
It's just like being on the football team at Scuba Tech.
That's right.
Got to be able to keep them academics up.
That's right. Got to do it.
There it is. All right. Well, we're certainly glad, of course, that you're here. Of course, you've been in 24 years. Compare young people today to when you joined. Are we in good shape, or
I think so.
do we need to go to our closets and pray?
I think we're doing pretty good. The new generation looks at things different. They kind of want different things from like a quality of life perspective. But when I was running
Wi-Fi.
the Mets,
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, that's like one of the first questions. You'd be amazed.
Yeah.
They don't have Wi-Fi on base, so they're surviving. But,
I love it.
They don't have Wi-Fi on base?
What a
they
novel
do in
idea.
their
students?
barracks.
In their barracks, but
The
not
barracks
in,
rooms they do, but not as they freely move about.
not in the classrooms where
Not in the
they're
classrooms
where
or
they need to actually focus on their programs and not. Oh, look at this! I did it. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Do they have their phones in their classroom?
No.
Seriously.
We're about to
Seriously.
start letting them have their phones.
Easy
because
now,
we're
easy
going to
now.
try to teach them self-discipline of when you're bored, can you have a phone on you without having to pull your phone out? So we're going to try that experiment.
I don't know. Y'all talk about it.
As he goes in text.
You talk about it. That's fine with me. That's interesting. In the Navy, at NTTC, no phones in the classroom as of now, but soon to change. I like the way you said that. We're going to try to teach them self.
Try to teach them some things here before they go out to actual commands, because a lot of places we work, you're not allowed to have phones on you. You're not allowed to take phones in certain buildings. And so trying to enforce some of that self-discipline of knowing how we operate, how we do business, and try to get that earlier on in their life.
Yes. Well, it's I don't know what policies are in our classrooms here for high school. Are they
I'm
allowed
not
phones
sure.
in the high school?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I can't see why you would want them to have phones at all. I don't know why you would allow that. But
Yeah, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. I don't know.
we'll have to find out about that. But
Do some research.
Do some research. But I like the idea of going phoneless for the sake of focusing on what your real job is. Because all you have to do is just go out in the community, go to a restaurant, and see how a family handles their time together. Why don't we go to this restaurant and we can all look at our phones together?
Well, you got mom and dad on the phone, and then I've seen some where the kids had little tablets.
Oh, yeah. Kids got to have the tablets. That's right. That's all right. Well, I knew things were changing years ago whenever I was in the moving business, and we were moving a lot of PlayStations and video games, and these belonged to the pilots. These were not the children of the Navy personnel. These were the pilots that were flying. And I guess you do learn some good, coordination skills through PlayStation and all those kind of things, but a little different story. Well, we certainly grateful we have the NTT. I want to make sure that there's a solid that the NTT stays here in Meridian and is in good hands. Are we good here in Meridian to be able to keep that school on our campus here?
I believe so. Haven't seen any indications otherwise. And our volunteer activities, the shipmates, they're definitely back out and engaged. I think we're almost up to about 2,000 hours just for this year.
Oh, really?
Wow.
See, that was a big thing where the shipmates would come out and volunteer in the community and do things.
That's great.
That is fantastic. So they understand their role in that then is to come out and not finally get on the Wi-Fi, but be able to to be helpful.
You're being serious about this. People ask literally when they walk into a bit, what's the Wi-Fi password? It's not good morning or anything. What's the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, we do.
It's amazing.
That's what we do when we arrive at a new airport. What's the Wi-Fi here?
Exactly. Yeah.
Got to have all that. So that's pretty fun. Sounds good. Shipmates participation in the community back up. So that's good. Yeah, send them in here. We like seeing the shipmates in Meridian, and we appreciate the Navy being here. Any advice for grandparents or parents who might have a young person who doesn't quite know what they want to do? Maybe some direction in life might be needed. Any advice?
That's why I just tell stories, especially if you have family members that served. They say less than 1% of today's youth actually has a propensity to want to serve. And so a lot of it's just kind of getting this story out of what that
You said
service
less
is.
than 1%?
Wow.
Ooh. Wow. Really? Less than 1% has the propensity to serve.
Interesting.
And a lot of them come from military generation families is what we're seeing more now than what used to be in the previous generations. So just getting that story out to people that don't have family members that serve.
So, as far as the Navy being a good career move, obviously you found it to be one. That was your. What made you decide to do that down there? And was it Central Florida where you signed in?
Family served. My dad was Air Force Vietnam. My stepfather was a Marine during the Vietnam era. I got involved doing JRTC. I did Civil Air Patrol. So I knew I wanted to serve and kind of enjoyed. It's one of the few communities that gives you good, stable income, allows you to see the world, gives you immediate geographic relocation. So that seemed appealing, and everything you do prior to joining, no one cares about. So basically, everyone starts off on a clean, fresh slate, and it's all based off your merit.
There you
So
go.
as long as you do the work, you learn the job.
A true merit-based
There it is.
operation. Therefore, well, that's good that it's that way. We want that. We want to be merit-based, that based on what you're giving back. So you joined up and you get to see. Yeah, if you want to get out of town, that's what you do. You join the Navy.
Get out of town.
He said immediate relocation. I like that word there. Immediate relocation. So you get out of town, see the world, and boy, you have seen some places. Now, you said you were on the submarine for about a year, or you worked on the submarine. Well, you mean like deployed on one, or just kind of worked on it while it was in?
I worked on pier side. We did
Pier side.
installations and removals. At that time, cryptologists aren't permanently stationed on a particular submarine, so we just go on them for certain missions.
Okay.
So I worked on about 7 of them pier side.
Okay, so that was your connection with submarines. You never went out on one down below and all that.
I was supposed to deploy with the San Francisco before it hit the underwater mountain and had that incident, but I got picked up for Naval Academy, and so I was in the Naval Academy pipeline.
Well, aren't you glad you weren't on it when it hit the underwater mountain? Yes.
Yeesh.
See, I've watched The Hunt for Red October, so
Here we go.
I'm kind of an expert on these things.
Aren't we all?
And I know you got to be just right on with your turn and all the rest, or you're going to hit the side of the canyon. I get that. But I'm sure it's not quite like what we see in the movies.
Not quite.
There you go.
That's Hollywood.
Thank you.
There's no windows to look out either.
Right.
No windows to look out.
Yeah. Somebody open the window. Let's look out.
I'm going to be out on the deck. Just call me when you need to have trouble. No, it doesn't
Yeah.
quite work that way. So very good. So you submarines, of course, you were deployed on ships, though, in different places. So what's it like being at sea? Is it just you get seasick, or no, it's just another great ride, or what's the deal?
Some people get seasick. For the most part, I was good.
Yeah.
I think I only got sick twice coming back, but those were probably like 15, 18-foot seas where like your front end gets submerged in the water. We were going around like a hurricane to get to Jacksonville on our post-deployment because we were with the Enterprise Strike Group.
Okay.
So we had to meet the deadlines for her last cruise.
And this was on a cruiser? What were you
I did
on?
missile destroyers.
Destroyer, rather? Yeah. Okay, cool.
But otherwise, rather enjoy it. Once you get about 100 miles offshore, you pass the continental shelf. The water just changes, totally different color. The night sky is completely different. You can actually see everything.
Everything, wow.
And so it's just a much different experience. But you do work a lot longer days. For the most part, you have probably about 15-hour work days for the most part. Different watch standing. So you're always staying busy. But when you're not busy, there's a lot of stuff you can kind of enjoy.
Well, Commander Daniel Walker, welcome to Meridian, and we hope you have a good stay there, and hope your family gets down to visit you, and we appreciate what you do. Thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Commander Daniel Walker, he is the Chief Officer of the Naval Technical Training Center aboard NAS Meridian. Thank you for taking time to be with us.
Thank you.
We're going to take a Fox News break and come back.
Yep.
that show, the two best hours of local live talk radio. Roger B. along with Rob Atkinson.
Hello, sir.
You've been driving the bus all week. Thank you for doing that while I was celebrating my 40 years with the missus. And
I must have been doing something right yesterday if you got phone calls and you're not even
yeah.
here. I was doing something right, I guess.
My phone was blowing up over something going on in the show. That's right.
What was he doing up there?
What in the world? All right, who's
spoon meat pot?
I said, who's getting kicked out of office?
That's what somebody always says, like spoon meat pot.
Spoon meat pot, gonna stir it up. Anyway, so we got a caller on the line. We're going to get there real quick, but first we got to tell you that go get some breakfast after the show because it'll be served up hot there at the Magnolia Restaurant. It's at Exit 150. It's inside the Queen City Truck Stop, and they've got a great breakfast, but they've got a great lunch, and they've got a great supper. They've got great hot food all around the clock.
And, of course, today being Thursday, let's check out the lunch menu. Pot roast! Pot roast on the menu. How about hamburger steak with onion and gravy? Fried or baked chicken. They got fried pork chops. I don't care what you do. You can fry anything, and it's going to taste delicious. And, of course, you can do it with a veggie plate. You mentioned breakfast. Start out your day with a good breakfast. Get you a short stack of pancakes or maybe the long-haul breakfast. I mean, so many different items on that menu. And, of course, what are their hours down at the Magnolia Restaurant?
Always open.
24 hours a day, 365 days a year, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
So they got Fox News always on the TVs as well. Great service. And if you're looking to cool off as well, the air conditioning's always rolling there at the Magnolia Restaurant. Or you can call ahead for a to-go plate as well, 601-482-0259. That's 601-482-0259 at the Magnolia Restaurant, the Queen City Truck Stop off of Exit 150.
With all the clever names they keep coming up with these dispensaries, where you can get marijuana, all kind of, the names like Greenleaf or, just all kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why nobody's come up with pot roast.
Right.
I don't know. Just a thought.
One of the things that you ponder in life.
Ponder in life.
Yeah.
Why don't they just call it pot roast? That'd be good. 601-485-9191. That's the talk line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to our show.
Good morning, true American patriots.
Hazmat.
Hello, Haz.
Well, another day in Meridian.
Did you pay your bills?
Well, I pay my bills now. I do. It's just another black eye on Meridian. And here it is. We don't have a facility to store our own criminals, so we're leasing them out to people that will take them, and we supposedly pay them to incarcerate them and hold them, and somehow we just forget to pay it. But I tell you what, you don't pay your water bill, your sewage bill, or your garbage, they'll cut it off. They'll come out there. They got a cutoff date on your bill, so they can cut it off and then charge you probably $50 to turn it back on. Here's my problem. We've got a $9.6 million a year annual budget for MPD. Where is the money going? If there's some attorneys out there that will do this, I would appreciate it. Find out what the protocol is and how many hoops we have to jump to get Shad White to come here and run the books on the city. There's a lot of stuff in question here. They didn't have any problem with $400,000 worth of cameras to keep the cops safe in the cop shop. But they didn't have $40,000 to pay for holding and incarcerating the criminals.
Well, the way
if
I
was James Moore, the sheriff up there, I've heard
Mm-hmm.
nothing but good things about him. I met him briefly a time or two.
Mm-hmm.
If I was him, I'd say, look, we're under no obligation to take your riffraff. And if you do business with us, you're going to do it cash on the barrelhead. Anybody that does business with the city better make sure their money is secure. And these people that they're going to get reimbursed for their use of their cards to pay for the gas for the city? I mean, there's a lot of questions here, and we've evidently got people in the administration that can't answer any of them. But I think the state auditor could answer some of those questions. Now, $9.6 million, we ain't talking about a King Edward cigar box of crumpled up dollar bills and rattling change. Where is that money going?
Now I know where you keep your money.
That's right.
I'll be watching for that cigar box.
But, you know, it's really pathetic, man. And, you know, here it is, all these boondoggle deals like a $400,000 worth of camera. That's not keeping the citizens safe. Everybody in there, probably the janitor's wearing a weapon. Just use some common sense, man. You got a criminal fixing to bond out. He's in waist chains, cuffed in the back, and hobbles. You know, when he bonds out, then take all that mess off. But the Meridian MPD looks like a comedy sketch of the old Keystone Cops.
Oh.
I mean, compared to the sheriff's bunch like the CIA compared to them, man. And you know, I bet you the sheriff's department pays their bills. I bet you the sheriff's boys got gas in their cars. What's going to be the next thing at MPD? Y'all bring your guns and bullets from home now because we can't afford none.
Well, you know, as it was explained to me, kind of in the back channels, that for bills sometimes to get paid, from the point of purchase order all the way to the process of getting it cleared and then getting the checks written and getting it mailed could be up to a 6-week process, from what I've understood.
Yeah.
So that's
why is that exactly?
Now that I can't answer. I just know what I was told.
Why is that exactly?
Yeah, we did confirm that yesterday through some, like you said, some back channels yesterday. So.
Well, the thing about it, maybe James Moore needs to say, well, before you bring him up here now, it's going to be a 6 weeks process because I want y'all to clear my money and have it in your hand when you turn him over.
Well,
just don't do business with them, man.
The answer is quite
send them somewhere else.
The answer is quite simple. All of these government agencies have credit cards, and you and I both know that if we're traveling on the highway and we're going to check into a motel, what's the first thing they ask for? Well, let me say the second thing after ID. They ask for a form of payment. Well, I haven't stayed here yet. Well, we've got to keep a card on file for our incidentals.
Right.
That's right.
So that's a pretty simple process right there. Say, okay, you brought some.
Do it the old time way. Cash on the barrelhead. You got a credit card. You go down there and get you some cash money and take it up there to James Moore and say, here's you some money for keeping some of our hardened criminals that we have no facility to keep them in.
In our country, we save all of our cash to send to our enemies on pallets like Iran. That's what we do with our cash in America.
That's right. That's right. Wonder why they wouldn't kept it the detention center downtown.
It might be full.
Know, I mean, there's no room in the inn down there because of all the crime and the problems we got in Meridian. It's full up.
It's like I said, it may be full up, and of course, we did get confirmation that those 3 inmates obviously were released and put into custody down in Clark County, is where they sent them to. So.
Them old boys out there better make sure that the money's online.
Check with Clark County. so they're
keep shifting them around till somebody gets paid.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's where.
Am I the only one that sees some comedy in this? And it's due to lack of leadership. Quit playing with the optics and checking boxes, and get people that are qualified to do the job.
There you go, qualified to do the job.
Yes, if I was going to be an employer or a mayor or whatever, I want the most qualified person there. I want the one that's got the pedigree. I want the one that's got the resume that's got all the purple and gold ribbons on it. I want the best. But we settle for less. because of the optics.
Well,
Meridian has turned into a trash. It's a cesspool because we've allowed it to be a cesspool. Want to clean it up? Roll up your sleeves. Let's get the right people in here, like the U.S. Marshals, and clean it up. And
well,
not tolerate this any longer.
Again, you're probably comparing malfeasance to just simple late paying, or
Well, you look at that whole scorecard, and maybe learning how to have a press conference and all. Maybe I'll learn how to balance a checkbook and pay your bills. Roger that.
All right, there you have it, folks.
Has spoken.
He has spoken. You too can weigh in on this, that, and the other thing at 601-485-9191, 601-485-9191. So, again, how, in your discussion yesterday, since I was not here, what was the delinquency? What's the time period? How far behind is the $40,000?
Let me go back to the story here real quick because, like I said, we've been marinating on this now for, a day or so now?
You have been.
And let me go back here real quick. Going back to QueenCityNewsFeed.com, this was the statement that was released from Chief Deborah Naylor Young, and I'm just going to read this entire thing here. She said in a statement that was released days ago, she says, all payments for housing inmates from the Meridian Police Department have been submitted for approval by the City Council. A requisition of $25,524 was submitted to Finance and Records for payment on July 25. A requisition of $13,356 was submitted to Finance and Records for payment on August 2nd. Both will appear on the city's claims docket September 3rd for council approval. Of course, that's the next city council meeting, which that'll be the 9 a.m. meeting there on the 3rd.
So there's the added step. It has to get it has to be signed off by the police department, put over into the city council for their approval.
And then the police chief in the statement quoted a Mississippi code that reads, all public bodies that are authorized to issue checks in payment of goods and services and are not required to issue requisitions for payment to the State Fiscal Management Board shall mail or otherwise deliver such checks no later than 45 days after receipt of the invoice and receipt. Inspection and approval of the goods or services, however, in the event of a bona fide dispute, the public body shall pay only the amount not disputed. So once again, the dates on this, the payment of $25,524 is due July 30th. 45 days is September the 13th. The payment of $13,356 is due August 30th. 45 days is October 14th. So when you read that statement and look at the window by state law and state statute, the 45-day window is still...
So it's not really delinquent per se by law.
Per se by law. So,
Aha. Okay.
By law.
By law. All right, let's take well, and I've been in a business where you get reimbursed from the government, and I can assure you it takes sometimes more than 45 days. I'm talking about on the federal side. 601-485-9191. Good morning, caller. How you doing?
You know what people do when they don't get their money till late?
What is it, Mr. Gray Wolf?
They charge more.
Interest. You're going to hold my money for a while?
Not even interest. No, it's I might be 3 months getting paid.
Oh, so
making $1,000 profit on this job, I'm gonna make $3,000.
That's right. Okay, I follow you loud and clear. That's right. The price has gone up because we know it's going to take a while to get that money back.
Right.
I got you.
So,
okay.
But what's even worse, I'm just thinking out loud, and I may be wrong. I don't understand all of the nuances, but I would think that there could be an agreement in advance that says, you know what, you don't got to get this approved by the city council because we got an agreement that says if you bring inmate, you pay for inmate. And if I submit a bill, all you got to do is go, yep, one inmate, 29 days. Or 10 inmates, 50 days, whatever the case may be. And the payment be made. I guess my question is could the city council go, hey, we're not paying them? I mean, what kind of I don't know. There's an agreement. I would thought that'd be in place that just would make the minute the bill's submitted, you verify that it's accurate and then pay it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting at the end of the statement from the police chief, Scott, it says the city of Meridian does not have a contract with Kemper-Neshoba Correctional Facility to house inmates from the Meridian Police Department. That was the last line after all of the statute of Mississippi was put out there, all the money, the dates and everything. They put that at the end of the statement there.
Right. There is no agreement. That's why it didn't happen like I said it all. Now, here's a bigger, oh, my God, thought. What happens when Kemper says, you ain't bringing them up here no more? Because there is no agreement.
They go to Clark County?
I got a feeling they're probably not going to Kemper anymore.
Well, actually, Clark County makes a little more sense. It's a little bit closer. You don't have to spend so much time on the road going down and back. I mean, kind of.
No, what makes sense is we build a Lauderdale County, City of Meridian facility here that we take care of our own. We want to do that nationally. Why can't we do that locally? It's just a thought. I don't know. It's the way I feel. All right,
The wolf has checked in this morning. That's great.
Well, I mean,
good suggestion.
Well, Roger, if the police budget is still around that 9.6 mark, the question is, how are we using all of that money? Can we set some of that budget aside for maybe going toward a new facility?
Yes, and I wish they would.
Since we're not using the entire 9.6,
I wish they'd let me come up with a plan for a prison, because it would be lots of acreage with a large housing facility and cafeteria facility and recreation facility. And then there would be lots of acreage for planting foodstuffs, your basics like corn, greens, peas, things that you could be used in the cafeteria part of the prison. Not necessarily because you have to supply the cafeteria, but it's because you can teach the victims, the prisoners. I said victims, the prisoners. Not just the value of hard work, hard labor, but also let them know that when you come back into this facility, you're going to be back out here in the sun hoeing these corn, weeds, peas, whatever. That's the way I just let me design it. Let's do it.
How about you run it?
Let's do it. I tell you what, come on, somebody, why don't you run? But no, that's. Anyway, that's my thought. Prisons right now, jail and prison is just too attractive to prisoners.
And I think with this type of issue, that conversation is going to be continued here in the community of what about a facility? And of course that's easy for everybody to say that, but we all know money and site and all that other kind of stuff. I get all of that process, but what if we have an issue with Clark County down the road? Maybe. I'm just saying, you don't want to say that would happen, but
Well, I just say this: if the county decides they want to build a prison, I suggest they probably ask the sheriff and police department what would be some good places to put doors in this facility. Where do you need your doors?
I would not go to them for advice on doors.
Well, no, you don't go to the council. The council goes to the sheriff's department and the police department and say,
well, just be sure they have a door.
How should this building be? How would this bill suit you?
Yeah.
Instead of, what was the phrase back in the day when the downtown prison was open?
We'll
build it, you run it.
Got a few questions on Facebook here. Miss LaWanda was asking, why is paying Kemper now an issue and not been in the past? Well, we're not sure exactly why it's been an issue now, but it's actually with the bills or whatnot. But here's another question.
You need to respond to her. You take this note to her. Can you respond to her?
Yeah.
It says, here's the response: next year is an election year.
Another question here, too,
okay,
Roger, from Mr. Bruce Mitchell. He says, is the jail on the hill out on Highway 39 not being utilized?
The jail on the hill out Highway 39. What jail do we have on the hill?
I don't know. That's the question here.
Is he talking about where the old Boys and Girls Club, or that's where the Boys and Girls Club was up on the hill there? Is that a jail?
I'm not sure.
I don't know about that one. If anybody has information about a jail on Highway 39, let us know. All right. Wow. You know what? Look at the time. Look how it flies. We're having so much fun here.
God bless.
Stirring the pot with that spoon.
God bless Meridian.
Rob's not using a spoon. He's got a boat paddle. All right, we'll be right back. We got to take a Fox News break. Stay with us. I'm Roger. He's Rob. And, let us come up with the jail plan. Yes, that's the Bengals. Their remake of the Paul Simon hit. Yes, Hazy Shade of Winter. Mornings in Meridian. Roger, along with what's your name today? Rob Atkinson. That's it. No. You're not President Biden. Sorry.
Check my pants.
That's Bengals Debbie Peterson. She is of that group, and she is 63 years old today. Yeah. Happy birthday, Debbie Peterson of the Bengals. Roland Orzabal of Tears for Fears is 63 years old as well. Oh. Matchbox 20's Paul Doucette is 52. Backstreet Boys, remember them? Mm-hmm. Howie.
The boy band craze.
The Backstreet. I used to call them the Backyard Burger Boys. But Howie Duro is 51 years old today. So
they're not boys anymore. They're just dudes.
They're dudes. And
is that politically correct now?
What's that?
To say Backstreet Boys. I mean, boys. You know, 'cause somebody's gonna be like, I don't identify as a dude or.
I can honestly say, Rob, that I do not really know at all what's politically correct to say.
No, right?
Nor
what is it now?
Do I give a flying flip.
There we go.
What is politically correct to say? Because
get your pronouns right.
I grew up most of my life not hearing the term politically correct. I grew up my life learning what was courtesy and respect, not politically correct.
My pronouns are.
I got your pronouns.
Yeah.
They're in a box over here in the corner, I'll tell you right now.
They're behind that shed outside, right?
Your pronouns are in my glove compartment. No, boy. Hey, Honor Blackman was born this day. Remember her from the Goldfinger movie? She was born in 1925. We lost her just 2020, not terribly long ago. She was 99.
During the COVID year.
That's true. That's right. She was in the Avengers, and she played Pussy Galore in Goldfinger. And let's see, other birthdays going up there. Late Cindy Williams. Got a lot of lates here. She was born in 1947, and Vernon Shirley. That was Cindy Williams there.
A lot of dead people.
A lot of dead people today. That's all right. It's all right. That's, country singer Colin Ray.
That's a good one.
64 today. So happy birthday, Colin Ray. Anyway, there's a list of birthdays. By the way, if the 22nd of August is your birthday, just go and get yourself something real nice. Put it on your own credit card.
Right.
Not mine.
And pay it on time.
That's
right.
That's right. Don't ask any favors from the Kemper Sheriff's Department.
That's right.
They're not in the mood right now. Don't.
Yeah, when you take them to lunch next time, be sure you pay the bill, right? The jokes just keep on coming.
They do. I saw a nice. I didn't get the mug, but I thought it's. I had to think. I think about this statement. I want you to think about this statement here because I'm visiting. Of course, keep in mind when you're visiting the mansion or the restored mansion Beauvoir down in Mississippi Gulf Coast, the home of Jefferson Davis, former president of the Confederacy. They've got Confederate memorabilia there.
Sure.
On one glass, a mug, it has the battle flag.
Okay.
And keep in mind when you talk about flags, the bars and the stars and bars was the original Confederate flag that had the round circle of stars in the blue field, and it had like three bands of white and red and blue.
Sure.
Well, that became so confusing at a distance that there was literally early on, like the Battle of Bull Run, they were firing on friends because they mistook the stars and bars for the American,
the stars and
glory.
stripes, yeah.
So they came up. Was it Pierre Gustave Trudon Beauregard? It's he's the one that came up with the the X with the stars and the red field, which is the battle flag.
Yeah.
That's what you see on the General Lee. That's what you see. That was the part that was part of the Mississippi former flag.
That's what we used to have on the pole.
That's what we used to have on the pole there. So it was the battle flag for the Confederate Army. It was not the national flag. But the point was, this was on a mug. The the little X with the stars and the red field, like what's on the General Lee. And it said on the mug, if this symbol offends you, you need a history lesson.
Ooh.
Thought about bringing that and setting it right here for the cameras to see, but what I probably could have. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a son of the Confederates.
We'd be booted off for disinformation.
That's right.
Disinformation.
So it's history, and you see these museums that try to keep these histories alive, not because they're saying, "Oh, right, the South should have won," necessarily. Even though if you're sons of the Confederacy, you probably do wish the South won, but. The stories and you got to remember that these were people who did live and then they died here for what they believed in.
Yeah.
So it's just good history. Anyway, I invite you to go visit Beauvoir when you're down on the coast. It's a nice historical stop.
And I'm being serious about that.
And it's been restored because Katrina almost wiped it out.
If you had that mug and you put it in front of this camera, we'd probably get flagged for disinformation, probably. Because that's just how sensitive social media is getting now. Well, it's just like another example of that. The new movie Reagan, which is coming out next week.
Yes.
With Dennis Quaid playing the late former President Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
He cannot promote that movie on social media because they flagged the movie as disinformation. A movie about the late President Ronald Reagan. They are flagging that on social media. Not on X, but on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, attention, liberal left dweebs.
I mean, come on, man.
Let me tell you this. What movie about any historical figure comes out 100% accurate, but it's what do we call it? It's a movie. And for anybody to say disinformation, that means you have to have firsthand knowledge of what the original information was that's being disinformed. And there's no... You are just, it's political and it's all about whatever the left wants to do.
Well, if we want to take this a step further,
it's so crazy. It's crazy.
You saw the story yesterday where the jobs report was reported inaccurately, and they had to take a big number of that off of the jobs report for this past month. Well, they were speaking to the Commerce Secretary. I don't know what media outlet was interviewing her yesterday, but they asked her about the inaccuracy of the jobs report, and instead of answering the question directly, she said, well, Donald Trump, he lies all this. Like, that's not what we're asking
that
you.
That shows you what the motivation is.
It's like, come on, man. It's like, and the reporter said, we're not talking about Trump. We're talking about, this is fact. This has been brought out by the Labor Department.
Let's see. What were some of the lies I heard from the DNC last night? Let's see. Waltz was saying that if Trump is elected, I guarantee you there'll be a national birth control. There'll be a national ban on abortion.
Yeah.
And Trump has never indicated that. In fact, he said it's a state issue and needs to stay with the states. That's plain and simple. But no, it's that lying scare that, and let me just say, Republicans put the little falsehood scares out there too, when Trump says, when Kamala Harris is president, you won't have a country, okay. That might be just, that sounds, you want to get behind that and say rah, rah, but I think, if they elected the guy that's pushing the cart down the street here as a president, we'd probably still have a country after it was all said and done, because we all know that we've already found out that the president has some effect, but not all that much.
Well, and
have we not found that out already?
And speaking of the campaign, we'll see how the dominoes fall on this, but I'm pretty sure you heard the news this morning. Of course, Clay Travis broke it on his show on ALT yesterday that RFK Jr. Was going to be holding a press conference, I guess, big announcement Friday, the day after the DNC. The day after the DNC is over.
Yes.
RFK Jr. is going to be in Phoenix to make this big announcement, which a lot of people are expecting him to drop out, suspend his campaign, because he's probably only going to get just a small percentage of the electoral vote. But you know who else is going to be in Phoenix tomorrow?
President Donald John Trump.
Exactly. Visiting the border, and he's going to be in Phoenix at the same time RFK Jr. There's a lot of speculation His running mate, we talked about this story yesterday, that being RFK Jr.'s running mate, did say in a podcast earlier this week she thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and suspend the campaign and throw their support behind Donald Trump simply because they do not want to see a Harris presidency come to fruition. And I was like, if a Kennedy were to back a Republican here in 2024, I think the universe is going to feel a big-time seismic shift if that were to happen. If a Kennedy supported a Republican here in 2024.
I would have to say that probably if John F. Kennedy were somehow you could miraculously have him alive here today, he probably would lean more toward Trump's policies than Kamala Harris's.
And of course,
policies. Wait a minute, what are Kamala Harris's policies?
She has not laid anything
What
out.
is the platform of the Democrat Party?
If you go to her website, she has no policy. Period.
What's the plan for?
Well, she was in North Carolina last Friday, and she unveiled some of that economic policy and the price. I was going to ask you what you thought about that price. She's going to try to control price gouging. She's claiming that these supermarkets are price gouging folks, and all of these handouts, $25,000 for first-time home buyers, and just all of this. It would add $2 trillion to the national debt.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. First of all, you go to any supermarket, talk to the bean counters in the supermarkets, very low profit margin in the supermarket. They're charging what they have to charge because what they're having to pay for goods to put on the shelf. So that's not supermarkets price gouging.
And then
it's the inflation that has come by the money that's been pumped into our government and the mismanagement of the economy through the Biden administration. What you would have
and theft,
you know, and as far as how much for first-time home buyer?
It would be a $25,000 credit toward first-time home buyers.
That effect would have some inflationary effect because what it will fact do is since you'll have more people in the market to buy houses, you'll have what you had before. You'll have inflation. You'll have a higher. All that money is going to be eaten up by the higher price of the property.
And then, of course, she wants, which I know Vance has talked about this on the campaign trail, is the child tax credit. For child care. She has a proposal on the books on that as far as her economic policy that she unveiled at that rally in North Carolina. And of course, the Obamacare stuff. But the total price tag would be over $2 trillion added to a already $35 trillion and growing national debt. So
and here's how, if you want to help the first-time home buyer, here's what you do. If you want to give them a little extra for a down payment, that's going to help. That's going to help the people that are selling properties. That's no doubt about it. But if you want to teach the first-time home buyer something, teach them the responsibility of paying the note, paying the taxes, paying the insurance. Because people that aren't used to owning property, people that are renters by life, they don't get the fact that, wait a minute, just my monthly payment is a lot. There's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you own property?
We do.
So you understand the idea of taxes.
Yeah, taxes and
every year you're going to have to pay taxes if you want to continue to own that property. You really technically don't own the property. You're leasing it from the government.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really what you're doing.
Yeah.
As much as women say, "That's my property. Get off my property." It's we're just leasing it from the government because you stop paying taxes. Guess what the government's going to do? They're going to take your property. They're going to put it for sale to the highest bidder up on the courthouse steps. And that's going to be the case. First-time home buyers need to be educated about these things. So don't just throw money at them. Throw some education at them.
Yeah.
And say, yeah, you might be able, and some say, well, I'll get that money. I'll stay in the house for a while, and then I'll let it go.
Yeah.
At least I'll have my rent.
And plus, when you have an economist on CNN basically said this looks like an idea that would be from the Soviet Union, her economic policy.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty telling too, right?
And if we want to go communism, then we're already knee deep in it. So why not just go ahead and take the full plunge? But no, that would be a bad mistake.
Yeah,
bad mistake to do that. But it sounds good because that's what they're doing. Those stores are gouging us. That filling station down there, the guy that owns the gas station, they're just gouging us. That's like, oh, can you believe the insurance companies? They are just out of control. Well, guess what? inflation is a part of the supply-demand curve, and if there's some money out there and people start charging more for goods and services because there's more money out there, then that just has a chain reaction effect.
Now
that's economy 101 is what that is.
Yeah, getting back to the Kennedy deal real quick.
Yeah, it's the Kennedy deal.
If that happens Friday, like some people are expecting it to, was there something maybe promised behind the scenes, like if I become president, cabinet position potentially for Kennedy? I don't know. If that's the case, all right. And the reason I say that is because RFK Jr. was trying to get a meeting with Harris to discuss the same type of situation to maybe serve on her cabinet. She declined him and wouldn't speak with him. So this may be like, okay, well,
there you go.
Watch this.
Here you go.
Yeah.
601-485-9191. That's our talk line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to our show.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for your show. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just wanted to say happy birthday to Joshua Buckley. He's 35 today.
Hey!
Happy birthday, Joshua Buckley. 35 years old. You know,
also,
now wait a minute. Now he could. What kind of work does Joshua do?
Computer work.
Computer. Oh, okay. So he's the smart Buckley.
Probably hacking.
Hacking.
you want to know the truth? Probably hacking.
Hey.
Anyway, guys, I got to sit up in the press booth with Rob and David White last weekend. That was a memorable experience. I really enjoyed it.
You just wanted to be in the air conditioning. You just wanted to be in the air conditioning.
Well, that's true, because my line of work, you don't ever be in the air conditioning.
That's right. We had a good time the other night.
It was a very professional time. I enjoyed it. Got to see some guys at work. Anyway, y'all have a good week and appreciate your show.
Wait a minute. What were some of Rob's complaints about the morning show on Mornings in Meridian?
He was on that microphone on that radio. He didn't have a break.
Oh, he was busy. He was too busy to complain. Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's good.
He was a busy gentleman. He sure was.
Oh, that's
very professional.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all take care. Thank you.
Thank you for the phone call there. You two can weigh in here at 601-485-9191. So how did Friday go? First game of the season?
First game went great. Had a good broadcast, and Raiders won 27-7, and they're off to a 1-0 start. So good job by Coach Land and Lamar back on Friday night. Of course, no game tomorrow night. They got a bye week this week, but it was a good start, and had a good broadcast.
I had to take the Lamar school bypass yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I was coming into town to get my new, what do you call those glasses? These lenses that they're bifocal, but they're transition lenses. I guess you kind of don't see the line, right?
Yeah.
Well, I found a way that you can get a buzz without drinking.
Wow.
Just get some transition glasses. Yeah. That's
drive somewhat sober and get pulled over.
Take some getting used to, I'll tell you, folks. Wow, man. Anyway, realized the traffic was backed up for Lamar, so I kind of came down around the 33rd Avenue area and back around, kind of back up through Meridian, that kind of thing. I call that the Lamar School bypass.
The bypass. We'll put the sign up.
Yep. Detour. It's like, we got to take some of that land and make some paving there, get all those cars off the road and get their kids in there. That's a tough one right there. 601-485-9191. Good morning, caller. How you doing?
Oh, good morning, y'all. I thought I'd catch you before you went off there. I just had a thought.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and those are kind of rare. Those are kind of rare these days.
That's dangerous. All right, what's your thought there, Lefty?
Have y'all ever noticed that everything the Democrats say, it's always somebody else's fault for whatever bad is in their mind or whatever they're. It's always somebody else's fault or situation or whatever. It's never their policies that have been in place. It's never their people. It's always, they always put the blame on somebody else. And if Trump wasn't in the picture, I don't know what the hell they would do. Do y'all? I mean, they're like, well, who do we blame? We got to have somebody to blame. Where's the Republicans when we need them, you know? It's just, it's always, it's never what's in the mirror, put it that way. But that's just my thought. It's just, that's all you hear out of them. it's this Republican's fault, it's Trump's fault, it's this, it's that, but it's never, ever what's been going on for the last 3.5 years, which they've had more than ample time to address, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Good.
y'all think that too?
Yeah,
yeah.
good opinion.
Yeah.
Well done. It's well spoken.
Not as good as Haz's, but I don't have as many good adjectives and saying as he does.
We'll
but,
work on that, Lefty. You can do it. You just start studying there. You come up with some stuff.
I have yet to watch any of the DNC. I couldn't care less.
Well, you need to be kind of open-minded, but I chose not to because I was on a little vacation. I didn't want to think about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to take a break, like listen to Joe Pags for 3 hours. I can't take
And as much as you pay for meals on vacation, you don't want to watch something that's going to make you bring it back up again.
Wow.
Do the what they call the Technicolor yawn.
Oh no, oh man. Okay, there you go. Good stuff. You know, you do pay a lot of money for food on vacation. What is that about?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Ah, well. Well, listen, good call, Lefty. We're going to get a sponsor in here before we have to get out of here, but thanks for checking in with us, sir.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Hey, yeah, thank you. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a group of people that are ready to give you service, not excuses, and I'm talking about the people at Purvis Business Machines.
Absolutely. Purvis, of course, service, not excuses since 1979. Of course, head over to gopurvis.com and drop by their beautiful showroom at 4505 Highway 39 North here in Meridian, or call them ahead of time at 601-693-COPY. At 601-693-COPY. Of course, they got lease return color copiers where you can save up to 85%. And, of course, they got those quality name brand office equipment items that do everything. The all-in-one devices from Toshiba, CopyStar, Kyocera, you name it, they've got it. And, of course, Don Lucas can get you squared away as well. So stop by and see him at 4505 High 39 North in good local businesses here in town. That's Jerry and Betty Purvis and Don Lucas and the staff at Purvis Business Machine. Service, not excuses, since 1979.
That's all the time we have. Rob, why don't you say goodbye?
Goodbye, folks.
All right, God bless and buy local.